Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are analyzing two articles about Palantir Technologies. The first article is titled, Palantir Can Continue Higher. This is what I'm watching. So in this particular article, he gives various forecasts and projections about their future share price, how he believes they will do phenomenal on their upcoming earnings report, concerning how they will beat on their overall revenue, and how Palantir could be worth $100 billion according to their overall market valuation, thus increasing their overall current share price very dramatically. After that, we'll move on to a second article where this author believes that Palantir stock could reach $1,000. And for me, there is no way that is possible. So we will be walking through the math of just how unrealistic that price target is, and you as an investor need to stay away from articles like this one because they are overhyping a phenomenal company. However, I don't want investors to get burned by overhype or riding the wave or jumping on the bandwagon. You need to be smart, practice proper risk management, and stay away from articles like this one. But without further ado, if you want more videos on Palantir Technologies, remember to go and annihilate that like button right now. Go ahead and press it right now. Subscribe for more news updates on Palantir just like this one. Don't forget to become a member of this channel for as little as 99 cents because that's what keeps me here on YouTube. And without further ado, I say let's jump right into today's stories. Palantir Technologies, as you probably already know, is a big data and analytics company which serves both commercial enterprises as well as government clients. The company also has a special focus on artificial intelligence, to where right now the PLTR stock price trades for $16.32 per share. Now, some analysts believe the company could actually surge up to or past $18, which is exactly what the financial reporter in our first article is going to argue for, while other professionals and experts, as well as some bearish analysts, believe this company is way overvalued right now and how they could fall to around $5 per share. But let's actually see which of these price targets are actually realistic and how Palantir Technologies could perform in their upcoming earnings report on August 7th. Palantir Technologies, ticker symbol PLTR, is one of the most popular stocks on the stock market right now, which I've been reporting on this company for around 2 years, to where we saw once they DPO'd, the share price surged up to $30 and then come back down to around $5.84, to where I encouraged investors to pick up shares of this company between $6 to $9. So far, in the year of 2023, Palantir stock has had an incredible run, increasing by around 182.47% year to date. And although some investors have done very well, others are still holding the bag because they decided to invest too much too quickly. If you know me, I do not advocate for more than a 5% initial portfolio allocation to any singular risky growth company because that is just improper risk management. A smarter thing to do, especially instead of lump summing into a company at all-time highs, rather I think it is more beneficial to dollar cost average into a company slowly to where your average cost basis will average out, thus guaranteeing you a decently low average cost basis or share price, meaning that the future trajectory is very strong, but not many investors listen to me. Other investors also didn't listen to me when the share price was between $6 to $9, and although the share price is trading for around $16 right now, I do believe a pullback is coming for this stock in the future, although I do think that their upcoming earnings report could be rather positive. Listen to how fast the share price has actually increased. From May, we saw the share price jump around 143.59% from $7.41 up to $18, and we predicted this because I had multiple videos saying that Palantir stock would absolutely surge, while multiple people did not listen to me. However, my portfolio speaks for itself in terms of how I invest and how I do it safely, confidently, and how I build wealth over the long term. But right now, I'm going to discuss what we should be looking for in the Quarter 2 2023 earnings report for Palantir Technologies and where the PLTR stock price could be in the future. First, I want to highlight their amazing partnerships, networking capabilities, and their expanding contracts with multiple heavy hitters in the market. For instance, back in 2021, Palantir had 45 official announcements on their website newsrooms about new partnerships and other developments within the company. And And then in 2022, they had around 44 announcements, while in 2023, they have already made 26 announcements, which is on track to be the total number of announcements back in the last 2 years. And remember, these are just not random blog posts by the company. These are huge contracts being landed, or earnings reports and or other news concerning the company. For instance, so far, we have seen a number of strategic partnerships or expansions on existing partnerships for Palantir. I'm going to start off by reminding you that they announced 2 deals with government entities over in Ukraine, and this would include the Prosecutor General's Office of Ukraine and the Ministry of Digital Transformation over in Ukraine. We also saw how the U.S. Special Operations Command entered a multi-year contract being worth around $463 million. On top of that, we also saw them expand their cloud partnership with Microsoft, as well as expanding their overall connections and partnership with Jacobs Solutions, also known as just Jacobs right now, ticker symbol J. Palantir finished Q1 of 2023 with around 280 commercial customers and 111 government customers, totaling around 391 customers in total. Clearly, as investors, we would want to see this go even higher, and the author of this article thinks that they are going to be able to achieve this. He actually believes that the company is going to achieve over 300 commercial customers and 115 government customers, which would bring their total to around 400 at minimum, thus radically increasing their overall revenues that they're bringing in from these contracts, as well as the amount of overall earnings which they could bring in. This would be directly in line with my past predictions regarding how their commercial customers will eventually outpace the amount of revenue that they are bringing in from their government clients. Now, let's get into the Q2 results. Let me reiterate how the company is currently guided to bring in between $528 and $532 million for Q2 of 2023, and for the full year, they're anticipated to bring in $2.185 to $2.235 billion for the entire year. However, this author is way more bullish on these analyst estimates and projections for their upcoming earnings report. He believes Palantir could deliver at least, meaning at minimum, $550 million in revenue for Q2. He's essentially saying how he believes that management and these analysts are submitting lower than anticipated numbers, so Palantir is almost guaranteed to beat on these overall numbers. However, I do want to say that we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves here. I personally do think Palantir will beat around $528 million, but for Palantir to bring in between $550 to $575 million is not as probable, although it is definitely possible, especially with all of these contracts that are being landed by Palantir Technologies. I also want to bring to your attention that for the past 2 quarters, Palantir's total expenses have declined quarter over quarter, while their revenue is increasing. And based upon these trends, Palantir's future guidance seems to be extremely positive, especially regarding GAAP profitability goals and their free cash flow margins and just free cash flow in general. So by lowering costs, by lowering expenses, and at the same time increasing revenue, this is going to drastically benefit the company overall. Now, where I want to end this article and pick up in our next article is when this author starts to compare Palantir Technologies against other companies like Salesforce, ticker symbol CRM, and then he goes into detail about why he believes Palantir will reach a market cap of around $100 billion in the future. Essentially, that would give Palantir a price target of around $48 per share, which is not too shabby. Now, I do want to say that he doesn't give us a time frame for this price target of around $48 per share, but he does believe in the future growth trajectory of this company. Now, with that being said, now let's move on to our next article, who believes that Palantir Technologies would reach a $1,000 price target, again, not necessarily giving us a time frame for them to achieve this. This is where we really need to look at their overall financials, because if their financials don't match up with these projections are not only guesstimates, but I think they are misleading investors. Although I do think it is probable and possible that the last author that we looked at was right, of a $48 price target sometime in the future, I would adamantly disagree with a $1,000 price target that this author is proposing, and here's why. Even though Palantir brought in very good Q1 results, where the CEO Alex Corp said that there is significant demand for Palantir's artificial intelligence regarding their AIP platform, and that they brought in GAAP net income of $17 million. This in no way gives us confidence of the company achieving a $1,000 price target. Now, the author does sweeten the deal by saying that this company virtually has no debt and that their cash and or cash equivalents total around $2 billion, which is absolutely phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, I am very bullish on this company. I own this company in my personal portfolio. I have a very low average cost basis for this company, and I'm going to hold on to it over the long term. But let's not overlook the bear case. For instance, a William Blair analyst issued a warning regarding how Palantir's top 6 largest government contracts are due for renewal or expiration. And if any of these contracts, specifically their top 3 or 4, if any of those are not renewed, this is going to negatively impact Palantir's overall share price, their earnings, as well as their revenue. So this is a risk that people are running, even though I think that the government will re-sign up with Palantir, considering Palantir's technology is just leagues ahead of any of their competition. But let's get back to this $1,000 share price. I first want to say that the author in no way performs any math that this company is going to reach $1,000. Instead, they actually start building a case against Palantir Technologies, and here's why. Palantir currently has a market capitalization of around $34.8 billion, which is not a cheap valuation by any means. While Splunk, which is expected to generate 30% sales or a 30% CAGR this year, trades at around 6 times that overall estimate. Now, what does this mean? Essentially, it means that Salesforce and Splunk are better buying opportunities than Palantir Technologies. And even if we assume that the revenue growth will double by 2025, this should only get them a $15 to $20 per share, which is essentially what Palantir is trading at right now. So essentially, this author believes the company is actually going to trade sideways from now until 2025. He doesn't believe in this $1,000 price target, and here's the math behind why I think this author doesn't believe this. For instance, with a $34.8 billion valuation and a current share price of around $16.32, what we can do is we can divide 1,000 by $16.32 to get a multiple of around 61 times. Once we do that, we just have to multiply this multiple by their overall market capitalization, which will tell us what their market cap has to be to achieve a $1,000 price target, and that comes in at around $2 trillion, making Palantir more valuable than the majority of all companies on the stock market. Literally, Palantir would be in the top 1%. However, this is not in the cards for Palantir. Palantir is not a Microsoft, an Apple, a Google, or an Amazon. Palantir is a phenomenal company, but they do not rank up there with the big wigs in or around the $1 trillion valuation mark, let alone a $2 trillion valuation. So as an investor, you need to be cautious about price targets that are completely unhinged from the company's overall financials. We need to look at the fundamentals of this company, and although I love Palantir Technologies, I personally own it, do not be led astray by price targets that are unrealistic. Now, with that being said, I do think they are going to perform very well on their upcoming earnings report, but overall, I think the long-term trajectory of PLTR stock is completely intact, although I do think it is rather expensive right now, so you may want to hold off or at least dollar cost average if you're looking to invest into this company. But with that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Give me your price targets for this company, and how do you think they will perform in their Q2 earnings report coming up on August 7th? Remember to go and annihilate that like button, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you are new. Don't forget to become a member of this channel to support me personally and keep me here on YouTube. And with that being said, I will see you in the next YT video.